A sterile air of the office felt like a deep freezer. My heart, a panicked drum in my chest, pounded against my ribs as my boss, Mr. Harlan, leaned back in his chair. A cruel smirk twisted his lips. "You're done here, Alex. Pack your things. Your career with this company ends today." The words were a physical blow, a sudden sharp shock to my system. I stared at him, my mind a blank screen. This can't be real. But what if I told you that just weeks later, it was him begging for mercy in that very same office while I walked away with his job? This is the story of how one hidden HR rule, buried in the fine print, turned the tables on a tyrant and delivered the sweetest justice imaginable. You won't believe how it all unfolded. Our story begins in the bustling halls of a mid-sized tech firm in Seattle. The endless rain against the windows mirrored the gloomy atmosphere inside. My name is Alex, a 32-year-old software engineer. I'd clawed my way up from an entry-level coder to a key player on the development team. I was the kind of employee who lived for the thrill of a successful launch and the quiet satisfaction of knowing I'd made a difference. But deep down, I carried the weight of a lifelong insecurity. I came from a family where good enough was never enough, and I craved validation like oxygen. Enter the antagonist, Mr. Harlan, the department head. Late 50s with a perpetual scowl etched into his face, a tie always too tight, and eyes that darted like a predator sizing up prey. Harlan wasn't just a boss. He was a bully disguised in a suit. He'd risen through the ranks not by talent, but by stepping on others, whispering lies in executives' ears, and claiming credit for his team's wins. To him, employees were disposable tools, and I was a threat because I was better, faster, smarter, and beloved by the team. Harlan hated that. It was a festering jealousy that poisoned every interaction. It started subtly, as these things often do. Harlan would bark orders in meetings, his voice booming like thunder. "Alex, redo that code. It's garbage." Even when it was flawless, I'd feel my stomach twist and my cheeks burn with humiliation as colleagues shifted uncomfortably in their seats. I'd scream internally. "Why me? I've triple-checked this. He's just picking on me to feel big." But outwardly, I'd nod, swallow the bile rising in my throat, and get back to work. The disrespect built like a storm cloud. Missed promotions where Harlan would say with a fake smile, "You're not ready yet, kid. Maybe next year," while promoting his golf buddies instead. My friends noticed the change, the dark circles under my eyes, the way I'd clench my fists recounting my day. "He's gunning for you," one said. I brushed it off, but inside, doubt crept in. Am I really not good enough? Then came the real injustice that pushed me to the brink. It was a major app rollout, a project worth millions. I led the charge, pouring my soul into it. Late nights blurred into early mornings, the glow of the screen stinging my eyes. Harlan, of course, swooped in at the end, slapping his name on the report. But when a minor user interface glitch hit post-launch, nothing catastrophic, Harlan exploded. In a packed conference room, he slammed his fist on the table, veins bulging. "This is on you, Alex. Your incompetence could cost us everything." He fabricated emails, twisting logs to make it look like I had ignored warnings. Whispers spread through the office like wildfire. Alex screwed up big time. Colleagues avoided eye contact in the break room. My world crumbled. I sat alone in my cubicle, heart racing, palms sweaty, staring at the screen but seeing nothing. He's ruining me. My reputation, my future gone. The betrayal hit like a gut punch. Years of loyalty repaid with sabotage. Powerlessness washed over me. I imagined job interviews where recruiters asked, "Why were you let go?" And the lies Harlan would spread, blacklisting me forever. That night, I paced my small apartment, the rain lashing the windows, tears mixing with the steam from a forgotten cup of tea. "I can't let him win," I muttered to the empty room. It was the breaking point, the spark of resolve igniting in my chest, hot and fierce. The turning point came the next day. Bleary-eyed but determined, I marched to HR. Not to quit, but to fight. I poured out the story to Sarah, the HR rep, a kind woman with glasses perched on her nose and a no-nonsense vibe. Sarah listened, nodding, then pulled out the employee handbook, flipping to a section I had never bothered to read. "There's something here you might not know about. she said quietly, almost conspiratorially. It was a secret clause buried in the fine print, a relic from a past lawsuit the company wanted forgotten. It stated, if any manager is proven to have falsified performance records or engaged in targeted harassment to force an employee out, that manager would be immediately terminated with no appeals, no severance, and the affected employee entitled to back pay, a promotion, and legal fees covered. It was designed to protect whistleblowers and prevent exactly this kind of abuse, but upper management kept it hush-hush to avoid frivolous claims. My eyes widened. A rush of adrenaline surged through me. This is it. My weapon. But revenge wasn't instant. It required planning. Precision. For the next week, I became a detective in a thriller. I screenshot emails, recorded subtle threats in meetings, and got affidavits from coworkers who had witnessed Harlan's tirades. Tension built with every step. I'd take short, frantic breaths as I hit send on anonymous tips and spend long nights replaying scenarios in my head. What if he finds out? What if it backfires? Harlan, oblivious, ramped up the pressure, cornering me in the hallway. Resign now, or I'll make sure no one hires you again. His breath was hot, his face twisted in smug certainty. I forced a smile, my insides churning, thinking, keep talking, you fool. Your words are digging your grave. Execution day arrived. I submitted the dossier to HR, my heart hammering like a drum. Sarah reviewed it, her expression shifting from concern to steely resolve. This qualifies, she said. The trap snapped shut. The climax unfolded in a boardroom showdown that felt straight out of a movie. Harlan was called in under the guise of a routine review. He sauntered in, coffee in hand, expecting to gloat. But there sat the CEO, Sarah, and me, calm, composed, with a stack of evidence on the table. What's this? Harlan barked, his confidence cracking like thin ice. Sarah laid it out, her voice steady. You violated company policy by falsifying records against Alex. Per the clause in Section 14.7, you're terminated effective immediately. Harlan's face drained of color, his eyes bulging in shock. What clause? This is... He roared, slamming his hand down, but his voice wavered, betrayal turning to panic. He turned to me, sputtering. You little. You'll regret this. But security was already there, escorting him out as he begged, Wait, let's talk this over. I watched him go, a wave of triumph crashing over me, relief flooding my veins and erasing months of fear. I felt lighter, validated, powerful. The CEO shook my hand. The promotion's yours. Welcome to management. Stories like this remind us that justice isn't always swift, but when it hits, it's oh so sweet. Karma has a way of circling back, especially when backed by a little fine print. If you've been in my shoes, remember, sometimes the system can work for you. What do you think? Does everyone deserve a second chance, or should bullies like Harlan get what's coming? If this revenge story gave you those satisfying chills, drop a comment below. What's the craziest boss horror story you've got or the best payback you've seen? Share it. We read every one.